Momo and the Dancing Club. I never believed a nightclub could feel like a graveyard. But that night, when the bass stopped thumping and the lights flickered out, I realized something had followed us in. Something that didn't belong to the world of the living. It started as a normal Friday night. My friends and I, Josh, Kira, and Lucas, had been hyping ourselves up all week about going to a newly opened club downtown called Club Eclipse. It wasn't like the other packed, neon glowing spots we were used to. The building was old, tucked in a side street behind an abandoned theater. Its tall, arched doors looked more like the entrance to a cathedral than a dance club. But once you stepped inside, you were swallowed by music. Purple strobes lit the massive dance floor, and the walls were lined with mirrors that gave the place an endless, dizzying effect. Everyone looked euphoric, lost in sound and lights. For hours, we let ourselves fall into the rhythm, until the night began to turn. Strange, I noticed at first when the DJ switched tracks. The beat suddenly cut off, replaced by this slow, dragging melody, something like a child's music box, warped and off-key. People on the floor looked around in confusion. The strobe lights froze for a moment, flickering in unnatural patterns. And then, the mirrors began to shift. At first, I thought it was just the lighting, but when I looked closer, I saw that the reflections weren't matching the movements of the dancers. They moved slower, twisted, delayed, as if trapped in another dimension, following their own rules. In one of the mirrors, behind the crowd, I swear I saw her. Momo, her stretched smile, bulging eyes, and crooked posture were unmistakable. She wasn't dancing, she was swaying like a marionette whose strings had been cut halfway. Her head jerked to the side, too fast, then snapped back again. I froze, my pulse pounding in my ears. "Josh," I whispered, grabbing his arm. "Do you see that?" He laughed, drunk and oblivious. "Dude, relax. It's just the mirrors. Trippy, right?" But when I looked again, she was gone. The music box tune cut off suddenly, replaced with silence, not even murmurs. The entire crowd of dancers just stopped. Every single one of them froze mid-step, eyes unfocused, like puppets waiting for a command. Only the four of us were still moving. "Okay, what the hell is this?" Kira whispered, her voice trembling. That's when every mirror in the room went black, swallowing the reflections whole. And then, from that darkness, a face pressed forward. Huge eyes, a stretching grin, the long black hair dragging as though submerged in water. Momo stepped through. Her body emerged slowly, claw-like hands scraping the mirror's edge as she slipped into the room. Her joints bent unnaturally, arms twitching with every jerky step she took. The moment she touched the dance floor, the entire crowd gasped back to life. But they weren't themselves anymore. They began to dance again, but not like before. Their bodies moved in broken, convulsing motions, limbs flailing as though controlled by invisible strings. Their faces were blank, eyes staring straight ahead. She was making them dance. Lucas grabbed my shoulder. "We need to get out of here now." But the doors we had entered through were gone. In their place, only more mirrors, stretching endlessly in every direction. The music started up again, louder, harsher, a twisted remix of bass, mixed with screams. We pushed through the dancers, but they didn't react to us. Their arms swung dangerously close. Their feet stomped in unnatural rhythms, and every so often, one of them would twitch their head violently, like Momo herself. We reached the back wall, where the mirrors loomed like endless portals. My own reflection stared back at me, but it wasn't right. Its smile stretched wider than my real face. Its eyes bulged, too big for its skull. Then it winked. Kira screamed. Her reflection wasn't hers anymore, it was Momo, copying her movements with a grotesque parody, until it finally stopped moving at all. And when Kira turned away from the glass, she was gone. She gone, I yelled, pounding the mirror. Nothing but my own terrified reflection stared back. Josh pulled me back. "Don't look at them. Don't," but it was too late. The mirror behind him rippled like water, and pale hands shot out, dragging him inside. His muffled screams echoed as his body vanished, leaving only a faint handprint on the glass. Now it was just Lucas and me. We stumbled toward the center of the floor, where Momo towered, her neck tilted at a sickening angle. The dancers spun around her in perfect circles, their steps synchronized with her swaying. She looked at us directly now. Her grin widened. "Dance," she whispered. The word slithered into my head like poison. My legs twitched. Against my will, my feet began to move, matching the others. My arms jerked up, bending in sharp, painful angles. My body was no longer mine. "Fight it," Lucas screamed, grabbing me. But his own body betrayed him too. His arms flailed, his torso twisted violently. His screams turned to sobs as his body convulsed harder, moving to her rhythm. I don't know how long it lasted. Minutes, hours, time dissolved in that endless nightmare of forced movement. My lungs burned, my muscles tore, but I couldn't stop. The mirrors flashed images of myself, distorted and monstrous, each reflection grinning wider than the last. And then, suddenly, it ended. I collapsed to the floor, gasping, drenched in sweat. The crowd was gone. The music was gone. Even Momo had vanished. Lucas lay beside me, trembling. His eyes were wide, bloodshot, his chest heaving. We stumbled to our feet, and this time the doors were back. Without a word, we ran outside into the cold night air. The street was empty. Club Eclipse stood dark and silent, as though it had never opened at all. No music, no lights, no people. Just a boarded-up building with broken windows. We called the police. When they checked, there was nothing inside. Just dust, rubble, and shattered mirrors. But here's the part that keeps me awake at night. 2 weeks later, Lucas stopped answering his phone. When I went to his apartment, the place was empty. On his bathroom mirror, written in what looked like black ink, were 2 words: keep dancing. And every night since, when I close my eyes, I hear that voice again, low, broken, whispering in the dark, dance, and my legs start to twitch. Like she's still there, waiting.